Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to take 1 second just to make sure that the microphone is working properly. And to do that, I just need to go to here. And yes, it's going through the number 7. Yep. All right. And I think you can hear me okay. Yes, you can. All right. Lovely. Okay, Compton Cali gal, thank you so much for being here first. By the way, you guys, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Hey, Miss Z, Mary H, um, Connie Bowman. Let's see, Felton LaShawn is here. Vivian Green. Okay, very good. Well, oh my goodness, the weirdest thing happened. I was sitting there and I was prepping and prepping and prepping. And then all of a sudden I heard thunderstorms and fell right to sleep. I don't even know how long I slept. I have no idea how long I slept. But it's something about that rain. It's like hypnotic. It lays me out. It really does. I don't know if it's the barometric pressure or the soothing sound of the rain or whatever it is, but um yeah, I was just I was limp as a wet dish rag. I was weak as water. All right. Let's get on with it. Now I'm wide awake, kind of. Okay. So we're going to talk about Sussex money. But before we do that, we have to see what the new total is. Well, the last time I checked a few hours ago, it was 12,660 hundred. Yeah. So, but you know what? I'm going to take another look right now because I want that up to the minute number. Must be love, talking about love. Must be love. Okay, let me get that up to date number. Okay. Oh, $13,180.82. Wow. And there's been 272 gifts so far, or donations. 272 individual donations. And that has come to a whopping $13,180.32. Okay. Well, very good. I like those numbers. And here's to even more. Okay. See what you all can do. Now, Harry and Meghan, whew, I feel bad for them. I don't think they realize exactly. Oh, you know what? Before we do that, I think something is out of order. Yes, it is out of order. Let me go and jump to that first, and then we'll get to the Sussexes and their money or the lack thereof. So, happy birthday to you, Joyce Anderson. Joyce Anderson let us know yesterday that her birthday was on the 8th. And of course, we finished around midnight yesterday. So, again, happy belated birthday to you and many happy returns of the day. Again, happy birthday, Joyce Anderson. Well, since she's not here, I don't think we need the salsa until she shows up. We'll save it for then, but um, yeah, we'll have a little. Well, we did that yesterday, though, didn't we? Or did we not? I don't think we did. Well, okay. So happy birthday, and then if she makes an appearance, then we will do a salsa. I will be the first one to form the conga line. Hey, Angela. Okay. Now, one of the squatties is pretty fed up with this counting Sussex money. So I will try to clean this up as best I can, but they use some very strong language to express their feelings about all of this nosiness. Okay. All right, let's do the clean version. So it says here, and by the way, this is from a squatty named Quinn. A squatty named Quinn says the British media's obsession with wanting Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex broke needs to be studied because who the F spends this much time counting another grown couple's pockets? Every other week is they're running out of money. Harry's inheritance is drying up. They can't afford security. Netflix is done. They're desperate. BS. Okay? BS. And honestly, I feel, I'm sorry, it feels more like deflection than journalism because right as the story starts popping up about the royal finances, suddenly the UK press runs back to their favorite distraction, Harry and Meghan's bank account. Now we're getting stories about how much tax the Prince of Wales paid, even though he's not technically required to pay income tax on duchy profits. Convenient timing, isn't it? Meanwhile, the actual financial structures tied to the monarchy barely get scrutinized with the same energy. The Duchy of Cornwall, the Duchy of Lancaster, public funding, private estates, royal wealth structures, most people still don't fully understand. But somehow, the urgent story is always two people who no longer receive public funding. That's the part that kills me. Harry and Meghan left. They are not working royals. They're not funded by the sovereign grant. Yet their finances get dissected more aggressively than the people still operating inside the institution itself. Why? Because Harry and Meghan are broke is sexier clickbait than asking uncomfortable questions about royal money. And speaking of finances, did the public ever get a full transparency on who participated in funding Prince Andrew's settlement? Did we ever get a complete breakdown there? Or are we only supposed to obsess over Harry's inheritance while pretending other financial questions don't exist? The UK media keeps screaming that Harry and Meghan are irrelevant while building entire business models around them. At some point, y'all gotta pick a struggle. Woof. I love it. Um, where the hell is my bell? There we go. All right. Well, thank you for that, Quinn. And also, I'm going to give you some flowers for that because that was very strongly worded and very accurate. Yes. Yes. I love it. I know. I know. That was awesome. That was awesome. Okay. Yeah, sometimes a person can say what needs to be said, and they are absolutely saying what everyone else in the Sussex squad is thinking. Enough of these distractions, enough of the deflection. Okay, now let me move on here. Meghan shares rare Archie photo. Well, 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 if it isn't that messy, ooh, Lord, let me keep it clean. I cannot stand that punk. Now, you guys, this is going to make you want to smash your phone, but or your whatever you're watching or listening. But stay with me, bear with me. We'll get over the tough parts because even though it's you know, the usual hate and hostility, it gets to a point that I'd like to make. So, as I said, just bear with me. We'll get there together.
About that woman, Meghan Markle. She shared unseen photographs of Prince Archie to mark his 7th birthday. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, delighted.
Did you hear what he said? Now let's talk about that woman. You know, that was a very deliberate slight. That wasn't any kind of built up frustration or anything. I'll tell you more about his character in a minute, but just bear with me. Let me start over.
Now let's talk about that woman, Meghan Markle. She shared unseen photographs of Prince Archie to mark his 7th birthday. You must be thrilled.
Yeah, delighted, Andrew. This one's actually quite sweet. This is Prince Harry we're looking at with baby Archie on his chest with a little, blanket on him. And I will point out that a lot of men do these pictures now with their tops off. He's kept his top on, so we can be thankful for that, Andrew. Mercifully. He's not that attention-seeking.
No, mercifully. He probably considered it.
And the Duchess of Sussex has shared a rare glimpse into her family life in California. They're becoming less rare, though. They're not really rare anymore, are they?
Because she's desperate to make some money because there's no more money to be made out of cashing in and exploiting and trading in on the royal family who are trashed from high to high heaven.
I wonder if there's a little bit of a rift there between Meghan and Harry on this whole issue. I imagine Meghan would show their faces if it were up to her. I reckon Harry, with all his anti-media stuff, probably is the one saying, no, we can't. So she's pushing a little closer, isn't she?
She certainly is. Well, let's talk to the royal commentator, Richard Palmer. Richard, here we go again. This Meghan Markle woman who cleared off to America so she could be an ordinary private citizen, yet again trying to monetize her royal connection, her son, who is a prince who's in line to the throne.
Yes, sixth in line to the throne, but unlikely ever to undertake official duties on behalf of whichever monarch is on the throne by the time he reaches 18 or 20, into his 20s, I'd say. I think it does irritate many people that you don't see their... Okay, you see Archie's face there when he's a tiny little baby, but in the last few years they've taken the view that they don't want to show their children's faces. Beatrice and Eugenie do it with their children as well, and I think the public get irritated by members of the royal family who want it always. I think the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would say that the reason they do it is that they are the most trolled couple in the world, and there are some sick people out there who, particularly now with AI, would make mischief with frontal pictures of their children, and I would say there's there's plenty of truth to that. There are people, actually quite cynical people, who make money out of doing YouTube channels suggesting that they're not really their children, and you see people making similar unfounded claims about the Wales children as well. So I think you can understand it up to a point, but it just seemed weird that they want their children to be Prince and Princess HRHs, in line to the throne, have sort of kept open the possibility of them one day doing official royal duties, which, as I said, I don't think is going to happen. But then the public don't even see their children's faces.
Well, quite. Richard, how are they doing on the old business front? I'm just having a little browse of Meghan's as ever sort of gift shop that she's got online, selling everything from candles to rosé wine and jams and spreads. Is that going great guns or less so? Any idea?
I think there've been ups and downs. I mean, I take a different view than I think a lot of royal reporters do in the national press at the moment. I think they're doing fine. I think they've got plenty of money, and to the chagrin of many monarchists, I think that they are sort of getting what they wanted, that sort of half in, half out, unofficially, way that the late Queen said they couldn't have. So I think the demise of their Netflix deal, while the deal has changed and is not as lucrative, they're still doing work with Netflix and other TV channels, TV streamers.
Yeah, so, the only one that was really successful was the one where they dished the dirt, wasn't
exactly.
it? And made all sorts of allegations. Richard, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much, royal commentator Richard.
Well, don't you see how fast they got Richard off of there? Once Richard Palmer made it clear that the Sussexes have plenty money, once he made it clear that they have plenty money to spare, money to burn, then suddenly, well, that's just about it. We didn't run out of time. Well, it's unfortunate we run out of time. Well, of course you run out of time, because he's not singing from the same hymn book, because he's not making the assertion that they are poor, destitute, running out of money. I've even heard someone say that they have about 5 years before they have to do something very different with their lifestyle, that Harry doesn't seem to understand the value of money, and Meghan is a little more careful. Now, see, that's one of those things that sound like it could be true. We have to believe that Harry, who has adapted very well away from the institution, we have to make the assumption that, well, Harry's never had to worry about money. Therefore, Harry doesn't know the value of money. I don't buy that. Harry understands how to count, right? I would say his basic education means he knows how to count. He knows that you need money for things. So Harry seems to lean more into their philanthropy and their humanitarian, and Meghan is, of course, doing more to secure their generational wealth, which is okay. But they both earn money. They both came into the marriage with money. So this idea that Harry just doesn't seem to understand, he can learn. I mean, there are people who don't know another language, but they learn. They submerge themselves into the culture, and all of a sudden, they're fluent. Well, it's the same with the money. Even if you've never had to be responsible for money, you can learn. It's a learned behavior. I mean, he's certainly not stupid. He's not reckless and irresponsible. So I'm pretty sure he does just fine with his money. But once Richard Palmer said that I see things differently, then it was time for him to go. So Richard Palmer said enough of those things that they needed to hear um, to keep him on the show for a while. This is not just a conversation amongst friends. All three of those people on the screen are paid. All of them, including Richard Palmer. From one talk show to the next, from one panel to the next, from one interview to the next, they are all paid. And the unsuspecting public, I guess they seem to forget, or they just are too ignorant to know that these people are not out here outing this person or reminding you of things just because they're trying to be helpful. They're trying to get paid. So Richard Palmer had to be just nasty enough to earn his keep, to sing for his supper. And then toward the end, he's like, well, I see it differently. They have money. They're not going to run out of money anytime soon. But as Quinn said, the timing is very interesting, how all of a sudden we can't stop talking about Harry and Meghan's finances. But there is the scandal around the royal family's money. And so these two things seem to coincide. It's a yin and yang. It's the ultimate deflection, distraction, projection. You name it. That's exactly what they're doing. And then, of course, there is Richard Palmer. Digging for gold, are we? Is it gold up in them thar heels? Are we going for nuggets of gold? Are we panning for gold on live, whatever, television, streaming? Looks like it. This is a man that is so hostile against Meghan. And yet he wants everyone to feel sorry for him. And he's trying to monetize his childhood. Right? Andrew Pierce's mother that he hadn't seen for 50 years? Is that what the number was? 50 years? It says Andrew Pierce has two mothers, his adoptive mother, Betty Pierce, and his biological mother, Margaret Connolly. He was left at a Catholic orphanage, at 5 weeks old, and was adopted at the age of 3 by Betty and her husband, George, whom he described as a lovely couple who gave him a very happy childhood in Swindon. As he approached 50, Pierce decided to track down his birth mother, a journey he documented in his 2024 memoir, Finding Margaret. Margaret was an Irish nurse from the county of Mayo farming family who was living in Birmingham. With that type of background, you would think that he'd be a much nicer person. But instead, he's as evil as the day is long. Richard Palmer had another job, which he lost. Yeah. I'm sorry, not Richard Palmer, Andrew Pierce. Let me get that right. Andrew Pierce. He had another job, but he lost his job because he didn't know how to keep his hands to himself. Andrew Pierce was accused of groping. Yeah, he was accused of groping. In November of 2023, Andrew Pierce, a journalist and GB News presenter, was the subject of allegations involving and assault. Investigation and denial. Well, the Daily Mail, where Pierce is where Pierce was a columnist, launched a formal internal investigation into claim appointing two barristers to lead. Pierce denied the allegation. Case cleared in December of 2023. It was reported that the investigation into allegations of assault against Andrew Pierce had been closed and he was cleared. But yet he doesn't seem to. Oh, you know what? It wasn't the Daily Mail. It was his, what was it, GB News? Not GB, Good Morning Britain. Good Morning Britain. I think that's the one that let him go. It's important to distinguish this incident from other individuals with similar names, such as Anthony Pierce, a former priest and bishop convicted of. Should we distinguish those names? Anyway, Mr. Nice Guy has actually been accused of having what was that song? I need a slow hand. I need a lover with an easy touch. Well, he couldn't seem to keep his hands to himself, according to the alleged victims. But yet he's got all this energy to worry about, what did he say? That woman? That woman? Well, I'm telling you, that woman could apply to another person, and that is Andrew Pierce. What about that woman? Because it was not women that he was accused of groping. And it is important to distinguish, these are all allegations that he has, I'm sure, maintained his innocence. But my point is, just like Dan Wooten, he's got skeletons in his closet. Yes, that old woman on the screen has skeletons in her closet. Prince Harry, if you are coming back to Britain, do yourself a favor and leave Meghan behind. It just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it?
If you are coming back to Britain, do yourselves a favour and leave Meghan behind. Prince Harry, if you are coming back to Britain, do yourselves a favour and leave Meghan behind. Harry...
Wait.
We understand he's talking to old friends about how you can possibly make an at least partial return to Great Britain. Forget your friends, Harry. Call your father, the king. Call your brother, the future king, and apologise for the wicked things you said about both their wives. And if you do come back, here's some other advice. Do it under the radar, low profile. Another reason why, best leave your wife behind. Prince Harry.
Well. Look at her on the right side there. Look at her. Look at the picture on the right. If that's not some old lady at church, I don't know what it is. Look at her. Isn't she a prissy one? Yeah, he's glad Harry didn't take his shirt off. That's all you can think about is Harry taking his shirt off, isn't it? That's all you can think about. Or anybody else for that matter. Any other guy. That's all you can think about. She sure got a lot of nerves. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but if my life started out the way his started out, I would just, I hope that I would be a nicer person. I would hope that I would be a nicer person. As it is, I came from a 2-parent household. And I do feel blessed for that, but that's not everybody's story and that's not within everyone's control. The whole point is, you hope that whoever is responsible for raising a child, that they're two loving, responsible people. And that's what's most important. However, the fact that he went looking for his birth mother means that that's been something that has caused him conflict for quite some time. And yet, this is what he does for a living. Most of his money is earned through controversy, other people's pain and misery, which describes so many other people in that industry. A bunch of bullies, nasty, wicked individuals whose day start off and ends with sarcasm, righteous indignation about things they don't really care about. And of course, the ever present cynicism. That is his life. So I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet his birth mother. I'm not even going to pursue that story, but I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't disappointed. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't disappointed. She probably had this idea that, oh, well, my child went on to do bigger and better things. Your child has been accused of groping people in the workplace. And your child just sits up and gossips all day and talk about people that he never met and doesn't know. And one of his favorite things to do is to electronically hurl insults at a woman of African descent from the US, mostly because she's not the English Rose. That's his life. What a pathetic old lady she is. Andrew Pierce, the man who looks like a slowly decaying ventriloquist dummy from the 1940s, is under investigation for groping two people at the Daily Mail. Good. Karma comes calling for this hateful org. Oh, so it was the Daily Mail. Okay. But I wonder if it wasn't he got kicked off of television and the Daily Mail. Either way, not a nice person. He ended up in a place that you end up, GB News. Nobody starts their career off thinking, I'm going to go someplace like GB News. GB News is not a place you go. It's a place you end up, right? It's one of those places that you end up. Surely he thought he'd have a much bigger career in journalism. But nope, this is what he does for a living. And he's barely making it because they're barely getting paid. There are people on social media that may have started their social media platform last year that's making plenty of money compared to him. The slowly decaying ventriloquist dummy from the 1940s. Haunting, isn't it? Even without putting this picture up, you could see it. Even when it's not there, you can still see it. Maybe that's why he's so hostile. Maybe he's got somebody's hand up his bum, making his mouth move. Maybe that's what it is. I guess if somebody had their hand up my butt to make my mouth move, I'd be upset too. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Although the idea that that causes him pain comes as a surprise. I didn't think that would be his reaction. The slowly decaying ventriloquist dummy from the 1940s. The person who said that should win the Pulitzer Prize. Really. That is the most epic burn I've ever heard. What a disappointment. What a letdown. And then there was the day when I was just sitting here minding my own business. And I thought, ooh, that's a curious couple, isn't it? And once I saw it, I couldn't stop seeing it. So, of course, I went to Photoshop. There you go. There you go. See, once you see it, you can't unsee it, can you? See what I mean? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. All of that education wasted. A waste of space. Now, enough of that slowly decaying ventriloquist dummy from the 1940s who can't seem to keep his hands to himself, allegedly. Congratulations to Prince Archie of Sussex, who is growing up as part of a modern royal family surrounded by tradition and a new understanding of self, a new generation writing their own history. Now, that was a lovely tribute from Elle magazine in Germany. Also, there was a video that came along with that, but I couldn't possibly share that with you. But it was just music and images of Archie. But I thought it was a very, very nice tribute. So cheers to them for that birthday tribute to young Prince Archie. And again, happy birthday, Joyce Anderson. Now, Prince Harry, the one that they love to try to convince you that is not altogether there, seems like he's the most intelligent person that has come out of that family in about 100 years. He wrote a what do you call it? An article. He wrote an article to Sir David Attenborough for his 100th birthday. Yeah, that's all Prince Harry. I am actually not going to share the entire thing with you, but it says here for almost anyone who grew up in the United Kingdom, Sir David Attenborough is more than a broadcaster. He is a secular saint. He is an institutional pillar as essential to the national fabric as a cup of tea. His almost whispers have been the soft soundtrack of the home, a shared experience that turned the weekend nature documentary into a national ritual. For Americans, I imagine Attenborough shows up not as a personality so much as a standard. He is the voice of nature, the invisible, elegant authority narrating the high definition spectacle of planet Earth or Blue Planet. So let's see. Yeah, it's not such a long article, but it is pretty good. So I have a link if you want to continue with Prince Harry's words, and I will put that link right here. There you go. But yeah, so Prince Harry has written an article. He's penned an article to celebrate David Attenborough at 100 years old. Okay. So I'm going to pin that. There we go. And then you can check it out. This one is in Time magazine. I don't know if it's available anyplace else, but it is in the Time magazine. Nice going, Harry. Huh. I wonder if this is the first time Harry's done something like this. But I mean, you can see it right there. It says by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Come on, Harry. I love it. Now, how long do you think it'll be before you know what? I'm not even going to say what because you know already. How long do you think it's going to take? A week? A day? A month? But it's coming. It's definitely coming. The Daily Mail cannot decide whether Meghan Sussex is isolated or protected by Hollywood power players. Oh, you know what? Listen, that is such a brilliant point. Is she isolated or protected? Once the Duchess of Sussex is supposedly isolated, rejected by Tinseltown, and snubbed from the Met Gala, the next, she is at the center of a secret network of billionaire women quietly shaping her future. The whiplash would be amusing if it were not so relevant. The Daily Mail's latest offering, written by Dominique Hines, claims that behind the scene exists a tight, carefully curated circle of 4 women, all billionaires and all deeply embedded in Hollywood power. They are named as Oprah Winfrey, former Starbucks chair Melanie Hobson, television titan Shonda Rhimes, and diplomat Nicole Avant, who is married to Netflix co-chief Ted Sarandos. According to the Mail, this informal power ecosystem offers Meghan insulation, access, and even needed interventions. Something far more valuable, the piece insists that gaudy Monday night invitation at the Met there is just one problem. The same publication spent the preceding days telling readers that Meghan was out of the Met Gala, out of favor in Hollywood, and out of momentum. The headlines practically wrote its own obituary. Meghan Markle is out. So which is it? Is the Duchess of Sussex a pariah with no allies, or does she command a clandestine support network of Hollywood kingmakers? The Mail appears to want both narratives at once because both serve the same purpose, keeping Meghan framed as suspicious. Friendships are not plots. Let us examine the evidence. The Mail reports that Oprah lives minutes from Meghan's Montecito, sends fruit from her garden to Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, and encouraged the couple to attend Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. Melanie Hobson is described as a mentor who has counseled Meghan on business ownership and intellectual property. Shonda Rhimes provides positioning within Netflix. Nicole Avant offers emotional support and has been seen holding hands with Meghan at a Montecito gathering. This is presented as conspiracy. In any other context, it would be called friendship, networking, or professional mentorship. The article even includes Meghan's mother, that is, Doria Ragland. In extended circles, the suggestion that the mother supporting her daughter is somehow newsworthy, let alone sinister, tells you everything about the male's desperation. The reality is far more mundane. Powerful women network. Wealthy women in the same geographical and professional circles communicate, offer advice, and show up for one another. The autobiography Panicked says more about press than Meghan. Mel claims that these four women are aligned around the same prize, Meghan's autobiography, a project it described as potential global entertainment coup or royal PR catastrophe. Publishing experts are quoted as suggesting a memoir could surpass the first day sales of Prince Harry's Spare. There is, however, a notable absence of confirmation from Meghan or her representatives. Meghan has publicly said she is not interested in writing a memoir, and more recent reports have claimed she has no immediate plans to do one. What we are witnessing instead is the press writing the book for her, then panicking over the manuscript they invented. Royal experts have long profited from tell-alls, palace leaks, and family dramas. When they accuse others of plotting around a potential memoir, they may simply be projecting. Let me do that. Now, as you can see here, then came another call from Pa. He said, I was welcome at Balmoral, but he didn't want her. He started to lay out his reason, which was nonsensical and disrespectful, and I wasn't having it. Don't ever speak about my wife that way. He stammered, apologetic, saying he simply didn't want a lot of people around. No other wives were coming. Kate wasn't coming, he said, therefore Meg shouldn't. And that was from Prince Harry, and that was in Spare Recalls Charles barring that is, Meghan from Balmoral, prompting him to defend his wife firmly. Let me drink some water. More water. Ooh, is that water good? So, to continue, Spare cut out the Royal Rhoda middleman, because let us be frank about what Spare actually did. Prince Harry's memoir did not just sell millions of copies. It ate the lunch of every royal reporter who had spent years trading in anonymous briefings and selective leaks. More importantly, it pulled the rug from under them. Any salacious information they might have held over him, he revealed himself. He did it so with context, something royal reporters have always despised when it comes to the Sussexes. He provided historians and the public with primary source material, untainted by the bias of palace biographers and Royal Rhoda's preferred spin. In short, he cut out the middleman. If Meghan were to do the same, the effect would be even more powerful. She is not a born into it Windsor. She walked into the firm as an outsider, a biracial American divorcee with her own career, her own voice, and no lifelong conditioning in palace loyalty. Her perspective would not be another insider's memoir. It would be the account of someone who saw the institution from the outside looking in, then from the inside looking out. That is precisely what the palace and its press allies fear the most. So when the Mail spins tales of a secret plot around an autobiography that does not yet exist, perhaps what they are really telling us is what keeps them awake at night. The thought of Meghan Sussex telling her own story in her own terms without their filtering, their spin, or their middleman markup. That prospect, it seems, terrifies them. Contradictions that cannot be ignored. The Mail's coverage collapses under its own weight. If Meghan truly were isolated and irrelevant, why would four wealthy women need to protect her? If she was out of favor in Hollywood, why does she have access to Oprah Winfrey, the wife of Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos and the creator of Bridgerton? And if she is desperate for a Met Gala invite, why did she have a warm public interaction with Anna Wintour at Paris Fashion Week last year? The same newspaper that now portrays a secret network also spent years insisting that everyone hates Meghan. Every public sign of support has to be explained away as a strategy because the alternative, that people genuinely like her, is apparently unbearable. Notice too the racial subtext. The four women singled out are all Black. The Mail ignored Meghan's white multi-millionaire and billionaire friends such as Victoria Jackson and Jamie Kern Lima. The message is clear. Wealthy Black women supporting another Black woman is inherently suspicious. Ooh, come on, Feminagra. Come on, Feminagra. You see why I love Feminagra? Do you see why I love Feminagra? What the Mail gets right, even by accident, buried beneath the hyperbole is article does inadvertently acknowledge that Meghan remains connected. Her commercial relationship remains active. Her ambition have not been extinguished. A senior Netflix executive is quoted pushing back on claims of a rift, urging people not to believe everything you read. Projects remain in development, including a scripted polo drama from the producers of Gossip Girl and The OC. Meghan, the Mail conceded, is studying executive producing. She doesn't want to be on the poster. A source says she wants to be in the writer's room. And then there is the final line of the article, which undermines its own premise. So yes, it says, the Met Gala did not need Meghan, but apparently she did not need it either. Okay. Now, my favorite part of final thought from Feminagra. The Daily Mail cannot decide whether Meghan Sussex is abandoned by Hollywood or secretly backed by its most powerful women. It has chosen to argue both, often on consecutive days. The truth is far less dramatic. Meghan has friends, mentors, and professional relationships. She has access, not because of a plot, but because she spent years building a career before she even met Prince Harry. The only real conspiracy here is the media's relentless effort to turn every normal human interaction into a scandal. Yesterday, she was shunned. Today, she has a secret network. Tomorrow, the Mail will likely invent something else. But one thing remains constant: Meghan Sussex does not need a plot to stay relevant. The Daily Mail proves that for her every time it writes a story. Wow. Wow. That is a powerful read. Thank you, Feminagra. Where is that at? Okay. Where I come from, we use a few words to say the same thing. You want to know what that is? Y'all make up your damn minds. Y'all make up your GD minds. That's how we say it where I come from. I mean, I prefer Feminagra's way because it's more polished and there's more information. But where I come from, y'all make up your GD minds and stop playing. Y'all doing too much. Y'all doing entirely too much. So, there's this that came out today. First look at Girl Scout cookies. Documentary. Okay, let me get this queued up.
You know who I cover?
Who?
The Girl Scouts. We've got Popstar exclusive sneak peek and a trailer, new documentary all about the intense world of cookie sales. Guys, these little girls don't mess around. Take a look.
Does everyone know what upselling means? Okay. When you're selling Girl Scout cookies, you have to set your goal.
Uh-oh. I hear music. I hope that's not a copyright. But anyway, I'll just get rid of that part and cut to the chase.
Yes.
Yeah, that
it's
is
called
cute.
Cookie Queens. Where do you
The
guys
future
land
president.
on the parents of Girl Scouts bringing those sheets into work and kind of doing the work for
they're
them?
so all over the place.
You know what? That happens here, and I'm always very happy because then I can get some.
Yeah.
Then,
But you want the girls to have to go out and ask an adult.
I
or,
was the worst at selling cookies. I'd be like,
Why?
I'm so sorry to bother you. Do you want to buy a box of cookies? Please.
yeah, but you did it.
yeah.
I did it.
I don't know.
I'm a
I
Samoa.
think you should make the kids
I
get
agree.
out of their
No,
comfort
I
zone.
agree.
You go
You
knock
used to
on
go
that
door to
door.
door.
You sell.
totally.
You sell the cookies.
When I was in the Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
we used to have to.
You guys
You
got
got
to
to
bluebirds.
move the merch. We were bluebirds.
we did do cookies and bluebirds.
We did we were campfire girls and bluebirds. We had candy, I think. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll get that in the next documentary.
No, really.
Cookie Queens is hitting theaters this summer.
What about bluebird
Sorry to
stories?
ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a lot of talking. August 7th, they'll be in the theater on August the 7th. Cookie Queens, August the 7th. So make sure you save that to your calendar. August the 7th, Cookie Queens will be in the theaters everywhere. And so far, seems like it's a great production. Oh, I forgot. Who were the producers for Cookie Queens? Was it George Lucas? Steven Spielberg? Huh? Who was the producers for Cookie Queens? Huh?
Who do they think they are?
Yeah, it was Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan, who are slowly going broke as we speak, happens to have been the producers. And not just producers, executive producers. Executive producer. Harry and Meghan. The two people that's running out of money. The two people that don't know what to do next. There we go. Executive producers, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I love it. I love it. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Amen. Hallelujah. Anyway, yeah, that's the people that were talking over each other. And then there's this. There's a bit of shade, but bear with me.
Hey, do we still call her the Duchess of Cambridge if she's Sussex?
Oh, Sussex.
Sorry.
Yeah, get it right.
Okay, but the thing is, didn't she and Harry step back from their official? They still kept their titles. Okay, so they kind of, yeah,
of course. They're like, you know what, we want to step back, but still give us the clout of the title.
We don't want to do any of the work, but
yeah.
All right, so here we go. Here's why we bring up Meghan Markle. She made a solo trip right here to Chicago. This is This was yesterday? No, 2 days ago. It was Saturday. She was here. She was at Holy Name Cathedral, blocks away from where we are right now, because her godson was it was the first communion. First communion.
Yeah, she's the godmother of one of her college friends' sons.
That's so cute. So she arrived early with other attendees. She didn't use any special entrances or exits.
Really?
She just went in and out of the. Apparently, a photo. I guess we have photo evidence of this somewhere. It's online. She was wearing a beige turtleneck and she was smiling during the ceremonial procession. I didn't know this either.
I didn't know.
Gabs.
What?
This is going to date me a little bit. I apparently was at Northwestern at the same time
I was going to ask you, how did you not know that, Anthony?
Well, I was in grad school, so I think I'm older than her. I must be, because I was in grad school in 03. Right? In 03, yeah. And
So
I don't know if she was an undergrad, because it says here she was there from 99 to 03. She must have been an undergrad. I was in the broadcasting program. I was in the journalism school, which was only a year. So I must have been older. And we didn't really, I mean, I spent time up in Evanston, but our campus was actually right down here.
Oh, yeah.
Clark and Adams. So, but yeah, I didn't even realize she was a Northwestern grad as well.
Bump shoulders with her.
She never did it. Didn't know if I did. My sister has taken her photograph though.
Oh, really?
Yes, my sister photographed Meghan Markle at the Garfield. I would love to have a visual of that, but Garfield Park Conservatory.
Really?
And
how long ago?
This has got to be 15 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe. She was on Suits at the time. This was pre-Princess.
Suits. Okay, so Hallmark era, Hallmark movies.
I believe
right?
so.
Wasn't she part of that?
I believe so. I only know her from Suits. She did Hallmark movies too.
Oh yeah, I think so. Right, Adina? She did Hallmark movies, and she was playing like the princess and queen, and she was definitely like naval servant. Yeah, she was doing her thing. But that's interesting, Anthony.
Yeah.
That she probably knew who you were. You probably just knew.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone knew me at no. Okay,
Yeah.
and
But
apparently,
guess what? I was walking past Holy Name Cathedral many times on Saturday.
Yesterday
on a
or on
very
Saturday?
long walk.
Who
So I
would
was
have
just
thought you
hours
were
away.
You
from
could have
seeing
run
her. I
into
should've
a
just stood there.
royalty, run into a princess.
I could have had more clout. That's
Are you
too bad.
too young?
Okay, so that Nepo baby, and by the way, I really don't like using that language, Nepo baby, but that Nepo baby, Anthony Ponce, his father, I think his name was Philip Ponce. Anyway, his father was a television news broadcaster in Chicago for years. And at a time when there were very few Latinos on television, his father was a very well-known, well-respected journalist. And unfortunately, this son of a Ponce, is reduced to idle gossip on a local television station. His father was a news anchor, a reporter and news anchor at a time when television journalism really stood for something. And poor Anthony Ponce, well, he came along a bit late to enjoy the benefits of that. But I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I thought he was being just a little shady with the Duchess of Sussex. I get it. They're trying to be interesting and keep the conversation moving, but cut your teeth on somebody else, Junior. Okay, so yeah, that's who that guy is. The lady I don't recognize, but I definitely know him from his father. Yep. By the way, the conservatory, that's the building right there, the glass building. That is the Garfield Park Conservatory. Garfield Park, of course, named for President Garfield. And that is one of the largest conservatories in the country. And it's not the only one. We have another well-known conservatory, which is in Lincoln Park, the Lincoln Park Conservatory, which of course is adjacent to the Lincoln Park Zoo. So if you're in Chicago, both of those are definitely worth checking out, but that is the larger one. And probably the more famous one is the Garfield Park Conservatory. There's some beautiful parks in Chicago. Do you know Chicago has, let me see, how many parks do we have? I think we have like, is it 500? Some of them are very small, and then some of them are kind of big. How many parks in Chicago? Ooh, over 600 parks. Yeah, over 600 parks in Chicago. Some reports indicate up to 1,250 parks in the city, offering numerous amenities. And of course, the most notable spaces are Lincoln Park, Millennium Park, and Grant Park. But yeah, there's a lot of parks in Chicago. Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. I hope you get a chance to check it out. Have you? I haven't seen much, but I guess I'll take a deep dive into it and see what I can find out. Which, by the way, I'm really not so far from it. Yeah, I'm not too far from that. I'm not too far from downtown. I'm pretty much in a very central location in the city, so I could be just about anywhere in about 20 minutes at this hour. Yes, I thought that was very shady. And the thing is, I think he knows better because he did refer to Meghan as a princess. Yeah, and that's too bad too because I have a lot of respect for his father, but I have just totally lost respect for him. Oh, thank you so much. Was that T Stir? What T is it T Stir? T Stir Higgins? Thank you very much for the super sticker. Now, here's a exact extract, that is, of the list of graduates in the degree Bachelor of Science in Communication. That circle, you just have to take my word for it, But that circle represents Meghan Markle. Actually, it says Rachel Meghan Markle. That represents Meghan on the list of graduates with a bachelor's of science. Yes, it says Rachel Meghan Markle. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because that little thing I just played was part of someone's X account. a well-known, well, actually probably not well known to most, but within the Sussex community, within the, you know, what is the word I'm looking for? Anyone who follows the royal family and is on X has probably seen this person's account at one point or the other, but not a proper journalist, I don't believe. Anyway, they seem to believe that Meghan never graduated. And then, of course, there were people who decided to co-sign and say, correct, there is no proof she ever went to Northwestern. I remember seeing a video of a professor that said he taught Meghan, but he wasn't hired by the university until years later. Does anybody else hear the theme music to the Twilight Zone? Am I the only one who could hear that? Do you guys hear the theme music to the Twilight Zone? Does anybody else see Rod Serling? Because I swear, I am hearing the Twilight Zone theme. She attended but did not graduate. She's not a college graduate. You guys, how Meghan and Harry has perpetuated this fraud on the MI6, the CIA, all these people, how Meghan has perpetuated this fraud. Well, Meghan and Harry, you know, the Bonnie and Clyde of the royal family, how they have perpetuated this fraud where they have children, but they didn't, that Meghan graduated from college, but she didn't, that Harry went off to war, but he really didn't. Okay, so Meghan did go, but she didn't graduate. Harry did go to Afghanistan, but he didn't really see any fighting. See what I'm saying? There's all these things that either they did not do it at all, or they were there and didn't participate. So Harry's Green Tie says, here's an extract of the list of graduates in the degree of Bachelor of Science in Communication. And yet, those people still want you to believe that Meghan has never even been to Northwestern. Okay. I don't have anything else to add to that. All I can say is stay stupid, stay ignorant. Now, them their feet. Oh my God. How is that girl wearing that shoe? How is she wearing that shoe or those shoes? You can literally see between her toes. Are her toes as long as fingers? That looks like it hurts. And in the video, you could actually see where she keeps shuffling her feet back and forth. Maybe she should stop trying to impress people. Maybe she should stop trying to compete with her sister-in-law and just be comfortable. Put some flats on. You don't have to wear heels, or get some kitten heels or something, because she looks like she's in a lot of pain, a lot. Now, it turns out Toe cleavage. Oh, I couldn't wait to get to this. And listen, you guys, most of these I have not seen them yet, but because I love Zandy Sussex, I knew it would be good. So, melanated Mona. Well, let me start with Zandy first. Senior Lieutenant Zandy Sussex, royal expert, says, sharing these for your entertainment, it seems even the sycophants are no longer buying Lazy Kate and Lazy Willie's excuses. So, melanated Mona, who I believe is a deranger, says Catherine is a full-time working royal in 2017. And her output has always been below average. Her duties have always been limited way before cancer. Right now, I'm rooting for her to prove a lot of people wrong. So forgive me if I stopped being a sycophant. And then Aaliyah says, I hear you, and I too sometimes feel disappointed in their output and presentation, but at the same time, I think maybe this is all they're willing to offer. It's a job they didn't ask for, and she is a mother first. Oh boy, there's that excuse. After all, she's raising the future king. There's that excuse. They are full of excuses. Harry and Meghan are never allowed any type of humanity. Harry and Meghan are never allowed any excuses. But Will and Kate, it is excuse du jour. So, it's the job they agreed to do, okay? So, melanated Mona follows up with, it's a job they agreed to do. When Charles married, it's when Catherine, that's Catherine. When Kate married William, knowing he would one day be king, she knew what she was getting into. Ooh, I love that. Isn't that what they always say about Meghan? Oh, she knew what she was getting into. She knew what she was getting into. You know what? I like this melanated Mona. I think I'm going to ask her out. Anyway, melanated Mona says, it's a job they agreed to do. When Kate married William, she knew one day he would be, is there a word missing? Knowing one day he would be king, she knew what she was getting into. It is why he gave her a long time to decide. So I don't agree that they didn't ask for it. Plus, Sophie is a mother and Anne is a mother. They've been there. Did you get that? Sophie is a mother and Anne is a mother. And they've been there. Let me lean into this because I'm loving this more and more by the moment. So, melanated Mona continues, I will continue to drag William and Kate. They're my faves rather. If I can see the fault in the other members and pretend they don't have any faults, I'm nothing but a hypocrite. If I can drag the monarch and the Sussexes and everyone else, I will drag them. They're not above criticism. Read my bio. Okay? Read. You know what? I don't know what her bio is. Let me take a look at it. I'll share it with you. Ooh, this is getting good, y'all. This is getting good. Oh, this is getting good. Where is it at? Melanated Mona. This is getting good, folks. Okay, her bio says royally blunt. Okay, royally blunt. And then it says hashtag Team Wells, and I will come down hard on them. 2026 is the year I will make my audience uncomfortable. Ooh. And she has had an account since 2023. So I've never seen her account before. So this is all new to me. This is all new to me. But looking through her Twitter account, she is definitely Team Royals, Left Behind Royals. And she's not here for the Sussexes. However, as she said, she's very blunt. And I'm here for it. Let's see. Is it Saba? Is it Sabak? Sabek? Oh, I cannot say it. I'm so sorry. But anyway, hi to you too. Yes, and Lizzie was a mother as well. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, they're all mothers. You can take that any way you want. As far as I'm concerned, they're all mothers. Okay. So where did I leave off? So she says, read my bio. We just did that. So Blue comes along and says, the old one would have totally blasted Charles for posting Andrew's problematic daughters. I don't get that. Is this the same, Mona? The old one would have totally blasted. Oh, I get what she's saying. She's trying to figure out is this the same? Wait, the old one would have totally have blasted Charles for posting Andrew's problematic daughters. This Mona only drags Catherine and I don't know what it says when it gets cut off. But to continue, melanated Mona, no, what is it? Octicus. This is the bare minimum. They don't get praise because they showed up and do what they should have been doing constantly. She has been in remission for over a year, while King Charles is carrying his cancer around. They need to get cracking, please. So then there's, what is this, Octicus? That's a weird name. Criticism without acknowledgement when they're doing the job you expect is just criticism. Catherine was solo on Anzac Day. She'll be solo next week with her engagement at the U of East London. Oh, University of East London, leading into it, meeting families. Okay, so what? So what should be by herself? She's done stuff by herself before. The thing is, she's not doing enough of it. She is not carrying her weight. She barely works. So, melanated Mona, my favorite person in the world today, it's me again, says, oh, For goodness sakes, I'm just going to say, for goodness sakes, give it a rest. Had it ever been, I'm sorry, has it ever occurred to you that they work out of view of the has it ever occurred to you that they work out of the view of the public? No, because they don't work away from the public. They barely work in front of the public. No, that hasn't occurred to me. And Melanated Mona says, yes, they're the only ones who work out of view. Look for something better. This is tired and worn out. Exactly. They have more help than regular parents and don't work 9 to 5. So if regular parents can work those hours with little time, no help, royal parents can do it with a team of nannies for at least an hour, 3 hours, or 4 times a week. And then this other person here says, replying to Melanated Mona and somebody else, royal parents are not ordinary parents, comparing apples to oranges. This is the thing that gets me, though. All of these excuses, and they are just excuses, none of these people would ever apply any of this rationale to Harry and Meghan. With Harry and Meghan, there are no expected acknowledgments. It is whinging and moaning and complaining. If it's Will and Kate, then stop the presses. This is a national emergency. It affects everyone in the United Kingdom. Everybody stop doing what you're doing so that we can all praise the Welleses, so that we can all lift up and support them, so that we can all admire them for doing an hour's work with the burden of trying to be royal with 3 kids, nannies, cooks, chauffeurs, cleaning people, and all the other stuff they have, all the other accoutrements. Yeah, they have about 60 people working under them, 60 people, and can barely do an hour's work with 60 people to support them. For a cancer that is supposedly in remission. The supposed cancer, the reported cancer or non-cancer that is or is not really cancer, that is or is not in remission. Not sure what to think. So, Anna Maria Texas, that person, Anna Maria, says, to be fair, regular parents don't need the level of security William and Catherine need. A lot of very expensive police and intelligence work takes place in order for their visit to be safe for all involved. What that got to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? Is there some type of group of people out there that's trying to get them? Right? Is there like some mercenaries or terrorists or something out there combing the countryside looking for them? I don't think so. I'm just going to assume that whatever the case is, they're not as bad off as the people that live in Montecito that have been bullied and mocked and ridiculed for years, right? the prince that's been called the race traitor, or the young prince that has been compared to a chimpanzee, or the mother. I can't even say what they have been said about her, but I want to think that Will and Kate are pretty safe wherever they are. They're just not interesting enough for people to go after them. Oh, okay, so I do have sound. Oh, I just said something about my audio was removed, but I do believe you can hear me, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yep, you can hear me. All right, perfect. Don't know why that happened. All right. Oh, so this is the last one from Melanated Mona. The king comes out more than they do. His own security is much more expensive than theirs. So if your argument is that they rarely come out to save on security, please don't go that route. Please don't go that route. It's stupid. It makes no sense. Anyway, thank you, Melanated Mona, for dropping those truth bombs. I like it. Let me see. This lady is not qualified in this field. The university should not be allowing her to use the facilities to suggest expertise she does not have. I agree with that. By the way, Kate was out today doing her early years song and dance. William Sweetjoy. Cancer-stricken King Charles refuses to give up the throne, for Prince William, as future monarch, needs to know his place. Zandy Sussex says King Charles has apparently made it clear to Willie Macbeth that he won't be pushed off the throne. Poor toddler Willie. His message for William is that he needs to bide his time and show patience and respect instead of chomping at the bits to unseat him. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. William, I believe, has been covertly trying to figure out some kind of way to either shame Charles away from the throne or to use what is it, public what is the word I'm looking for? Well, anyway, pressure from the public, by using pressure from the public to convince him to step down. And I do believe that some members of the media have played a role in that, trying to coerce Charles to leave the throne. I believe that. I believe they've been trying it. And you notice all of a sudden, since Charles has made it very clear that he's not going anywhere, people like Tom Sykes are no longer suggesting that William is king in all but name only. Remember that? When Tom Sykes was trying to convince us that William was secretly running the government, that went on for months. And it wasn't true. There was no truth to it whatsoever. But yet, time and time again, they tried to convince us that William was actually in control behind the scenes. I did not believe it. Even if King Charles was bed-stricken, right, or bedridden, I still believe that he would not relinquish any authority to his son. As long as he could reason and think and sign papers, I believe that Charles would remain firmly in control. And to hell with Willie and Lady Macbeth. That's what I believe. I never bought this idea that William had any kind of control over the throne. And look at that. King Charles leads St. Paul's ceremony honoring Britain's overseas heroes in first appearance as sovereign of ancient order. So this is the first time we've seen Charles in that particular robe. This is the first time that he's gone to this particular thing, whatever this event is. And he took, oh, there's William right there with him. Oh, you know what, guys? Never mind. I didn't realize William was in this picture with him. Well, William came out for that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That's not William. That's the Duke of Kent. William was at a football match alone, and they will tell you to face it, not an institution in crisis. And they will tell you to face it's not an institution in crisis. Anyway, Henry VIII goes on to say, at their peak, Charles and Anne did 1,000 engagements a year between the two of them. They are aging. There is no one to replace them. The heirs to the throne insist they have the right to work a handful of times a month. The institution is hurtling toward a crisis, and they still cannot stop talking about Harry and Meghan. It's so ridiculous that the royalists defend this. William literally does not work, but you can catch him, usually solo, at a football match any day of the week. William will not work, but he will go to a football match. William should have been with his father today, and he chose to skip it and go and watch a football match. And believe me, where's it at? You see that? He did the usual overly animated, pumping his fists, dancing like a lunatic. He did that today. While his father was actually working. His cancer-stricken dad, who has just come back from a long tour, is working. And William is at a game. Make that make sense. The institution is in crisis, and William's at a football match. Prince William's only vacation or watch football. He only vacation or watch football. He never works. This is made even more stark when you realize that the 90-year-old Duke of Kent, who is missing part of his ear and can barely walk, supported King Charles at the church service today. What an absolute loser. He didn't go to Charles' garden party yesterday. He didn't go to church for the service with Charles today. He's only had one royal engagement this week. And here he is yet again watching football. Same day. The first one is almost 100 years old. He turned up for work, turned up to work to support his 77-year-old cancer-stricken relative. The other one is in his 40s and had more important personal things to do than supporting his 77-year-old cancer-stricken father. Working isn't among the future king's priorities. Peasants better get used to that now. Let me drink some water. I am so dehydrated. I'm so sorry. Let me drink some water. So the peasants had better get used to that because William and Kitty Macbeth will barely work. Now, this takes me back to what I said a long time ago, that the institution is in trouble because post Lizzie, there's going to be a huge deficit because for the next 10 or 15 years, and this is what I said before the Queen died and then after she died, Prince George may not get married until he's 30 years old. So it might be another 17 years before he gets married? And let's assume that Charles lives at least another 10 or 15 years, at the very least, possibly more. So at some point, George may actually start official royal duty. But I got a feeling that if he says he doesn't want to, that his parents are going to say, okay, don't do it. Don't do it. I think he will show up for some of the more important things, but his own father is going to be unavailable. So why would anybody expect that his children would be any better off? It is going to be some very, very lean times for that institution. Not financially lean, but in terms of so-called working royals, they are going to be in a lot of trouble. We don't know when or if Louis and Charlotte are actually going to participate in the work. So you will have Princess Anne, and you will have Sophie and Edward. It is going to be interesting to watch it because they are losing prestige. It is reported that their popularity is underwater again. The institution itself has less than a 50% approval. Not a good place to be. And I just don't think that William is going to force those kids to do anything they don't want to do. I think if they say no, that's the end of it. Let's see. Little Charlotte can't wait to work. I think Charlotte will definitely lean into it. And I kind of think Louis will probably lean into it. I think Louis is going to be probably, I'm just guessing, but I think he may be attracted to the military service. George, I kind of get the feeling George is not interested. Well, one thing we know for certain is that Princess Anne did not really go for the slim down monarchy. She's going to do the work and keep her opinions to herself. But, well, for the remainder of, her working life, she's going to keep her opinions to herself. But she said in that interview that the, what we were just talking about, that the slim down monarchy, she did not think that was a good idea, in so many words. And look at there, Princess Anne reportedly tired and annoyed as William passes, that is, on the bread and butter duties. Buckingham Palace makes embarrassing error about Princess Anne in fact list to celebrate hardworking royals on her 75th birthday. Anne is still consistently doing more work than William and Kate combined. And am I correct? Did I hear that they wanted William to go to Jamaica after the hurricane and he just refused? Jennifer Clark, thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate it. Anyway, Graham Smith is constantly trolling Princess Anne. Actually, he trolls the entire institution. You see there? Napoleon, not one day served in the military. He's very critical about the royals with all their medals and such. And he said, Napoleon. I like that. I've never seen that before. Napoleon. But look at that. All those medals for work that they haven't really done. What is that all about? It's embarrassing. They really should be embarrassed. The only one in that lineup that actually served real combat is Andrew, going to the Falkland Island War. But the rest of them, they could kick rocks. And then, of course, behind the group, you could see Harry, the other one in the family that has seen combat. I wanted to come as a Catwoman, but this is the only outfit they had left. I wanted to come as Catwoman, but this is the only outfit they had left. I love that. And of course, even Napoleon is wagging his finger at Princess Anne. Um, and what is it you do? uh, just imagine if Napoleon somehow were alive today, and let's say he went to some royal event. Could you imagine that? Anne leaning over to say, and what is it you do? Now, to me, if Princess Anne never bothered with all of that, honorary majorette and all that kind of stuff, Princess Anne could have easily have been a Stuart McGuire model. And if you're not familiar with Stuart McGuire, it was a men's fashion magazine. They sold shoes and polyester suits. That kind of stuff. And I just believe that Princess Anne could have shattered the glass ceiling by becoming a Stuart McGuire model. I mean, she looks good in the leisure suit. She looks good with those butterfly collars. She has a face made for butterfly collars, don't you think? She looks very handsome. What about that? A nice early 70s look, right? So yeah, I think she wears it well. Huh? What about that? With that afro and that olive complexion, she could have easily have been a men's fashion magazine model from the early to mid 70s. She could have done that. And she would have been very well paid, highly sought after. Huh? Look at that. She got on her bell bottoms, got that nice fly vest on, big butterfly collar. And look at that. Well, 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 if the royal family hasn't found yet another person of African descent to pin one of those medals. Yep, wouldn't be the first time. Huh. We got another one. And then, of course, she's thinking, I like her hair. uh, they look like mother and daughter, don't they? They really do. They look like mother and daughter. Speaking of daughters, there's Kate. That was Kate earlier today. That is a Getty image. So there has been absolutely zero alterations to that photo. That is the real Kate Middleton in one of her unguarded moments. Thinking, of course, I need to get out of here. I need to go and have a nice hot bath to wash the sticky fingers of those students off of me. Elmer's glue and crayons. Okay, so anyway, that's enough about Kate. Yeah, it's kind of sad, isn't it? It is kind of sad. But this is what she has chosen for her life. If only she would have been nicer to Meghan. If only. But instead, she thought it wise to be cruel. Now, check this out. That is the Beyonce costume from the Met Gala. It did not take long before someone made a 3D printer version, satisfying video of Beyonce's Met Gala miniature coming out of a 3D printer and being hand painted. Did a great job of it too. I think it's what one of those they call it the Funko dolls with the big head and the little body. Did a great job. Did a really good job. Look at that. That is cute. Okay, and this is the last thing I have for you. Isn't that a beautiful room? I love that blue. That is a beautiful room. And notice that the room is not so, matchy-matchy. The colors complement, of course, but the shape of the lamps are very different. And of course, that beautiful carpeting. So, yeah, I love that room. I really do love that room. Oh, well, I guess I have to stick to this tenement flat that I call a home. But yeah, that is beautiful. Pacific blue. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. I was trying to figure out what kind of blue. Pacific blue. That sounds perfect. It does kind of look like the deep ocean water blue. So yeah, I see that. Very beautiful. Well, if I ever win the lottery, if you had like a primary suite in your home, have the huge bedroom and a lounge area, that would be really great in a bedroom. Some people's bedroom, especially when people restore a house, sometimes they make the whole upper floor. Yep. All right, you guys. I'm going to say good night. Yes, you see it too. It's beautiful and calming, very pretty. Yeah, how nice. Okay, love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.